The Apocalypse Players present An Uncommon Burial. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, Dominic Allen as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. Part 7. Library Use.
It might take me a while because obviously it's not cross-referenced under who's taken them out. I'll have to go through every single one. But, well, if you're not in a rush...
Well, we might have a little look around. We have some other business to attend to, and maybe we'll come back before we leave.
Oh, please. Oh, yes. Well, gives me something to do at least. Thank you. And she sort of pushes her horn-rimmed spectacles up a bit and
very good.
Starts scrolling through.
Thank you. Tip the woman, Perry. Right.
Oh God.
I hand her a couple of pennies. Less.
Tip her
a halfpenny
out of the window. Yeah. Oh, thank you. She sort of looks at it confusedly and sort of slides it onto the desk next to her.
I've already walked off.
Yeah. But she seems to be looking through this, so, I mean, feel free to... Is there anything else you want to look at while you're here? Anything else you want to look up? Or just grab a copy of... a different copy of... Well, you've got a copy of Beowulf, to be fair. Yeah. But she seems to be looking through this, so, I mean, feel free to... Is there anything else you want to look at while you're here? Anything else you want to look up? Or just grab a copy of... a different copy of... Well, you've got a copy of Beowulf, to be fair.
Do you think we can glean anything from this Triskelion necklace, a cross-reference with Celtic traditions of symbols and iconography?
Well, what else would we need to use the library for? Maybe we could split up and make good our time.
Do more damage that way.
Almost certainly, yeah.
There's the Triskelion, apologies. The Vaggsang, although I'm not sure how much we'll infer from that. Is there a way that we could maybe consult some sort of...
And the helm itself, I suppose.
Well, that's not a bad idea, Henry. That's...
Although it wouldn't surprise me that if it's mentioned in any book, it's the books that have been checked out. Because I think if it was mentioned in another book, it would have been checked out as well.
I agree.
But it's worth a look. It can't hurt to have a quick peruse.
But perhaps he was taking some things for granted on the basics.
Possibly, yes. Which may benefit the layperson like ourselves.
I mean, if you're wondering about like looking stuff up anyway, I'll certainly give you that opportunity because there may well be something to be found in the annals. But I would say since Perregrine and Carraig-Muire have both tried a natural world roll on the thing, Bjarmia, you could feel free to try something else, like maybe history or occult or anything that might, if you fancy it, just because you're discussing it. And you haven't had a chance yet.
Do you mean prior to a library use?
Oh, well, yeah, and then you can all sort of look up what you want. Obviously, there might be nothing. For
a game that everyone says, oh, you'll need your library use, hardly ever use it, do you?
Yeah.
Hardly ever get the chance. Sit down and read a book. Too busy running down corridors or running around a ship's deck.
With dynamite. While Lady Marjorie is studying this item...
Yes.
I say to... Henry, do you think it's worth us, since we are in the school library, is it worth looking up records for this Theodore Pugh to see whether he had any sort of checkered history at the school? Or...
Oh,
I'm still unsure whether he had some malign intention or whether he's enlisted us in an honest way, just as he sent Robert supposedly in an honest quest up to Whitby.
Well, he was a few years above me, I seem to recall, so it shouldn't be too hard. I can check that if you want to. I feel like you'd be best placed with this iconography.
Well, perhaps. I'm not sure that's quite true, but fine. That's as good a division of labour as any.
I haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. Rolled an 81 on a 5 or something.
I don't even know how good I am at the skill.
It's annoying. I'm incredibly good at Natural World. How did I fail it? And why didn't I push it? Or maybe I did.
Maybe it's time to push it. Well, let's see how the library use goes, and then we can push it on the train.
I'm going to do a library use. Give me 20 minutes. I'm going to potter around this library, see if there's a Pret in the back. Sometimes there is in these places.
I'm going to have a wee look into Pew. I'm going to double check to see if there's any of those handy early photographs of Pew, Thompson, and the third man hanging out together by the girls' toilets. No, there were no girls at that time.
No.
Now, I've got an awful problem for you. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, please.
I've fumbled that library use roll.
Oh dear.
I've rolled a 98 on a 20. So presumably I've crashed through it.
Oh, good.
I was looking up any information on the helm, for instance, or the Vaggsang, or...
Maybe you should be looking up the Triskelion since you've got it.
Yes, all right, fair enough.
Oh, yeah. That was the first port of call, I think, wasn't it? Okay, so you were looking at the Triskelion and you fumbled straight away. Joseph, you were looking for Theodore Pugh.
Yeah, I think as a group meta comment, I would say the Triskelion, I'd like to look at that properly. With 20 library use on it? No. What? So one of us wants to have a... So do we get something else as well, or is it just one person on the Triskelion?
Well, I'm very happy to take something else. I'm very happy to...
She did have it, but...
Yeah, there are other libraries and other times. I think for now, unless you want to stay here longer, we can...
So for this stab in the chaos, she took it with her.
Yes.
So she was looking at it.
It's a bushel.
It's a possible.
Yeah. There'll be better libraries. I mean, there'll also be Whitby Museum.
Oster School, I'm sure there's... what about that rare books room?
Yes.
They all fly around in the middle of the night, don't they?
The ones that scream when you open them.
So, yeah, okay. So do you want to deal with the fumble, or shall I come back?
To keep them under ice.
Oh, well, let's all roll, and then I'll...
And I guess that puts me on the Vaggsang.
tell you all what happens. Yeah.
Which means that I take the ring off and I give you the Vaggsang.
Well, there's also the helm to look into as well.
Although we guessed that probably the helm would be covered in the books that aren't here. But, well, I've failed my library use, which is disappointing because my library use is 75, so I'm obviously going to push it.
Yeah, I would.
We're going to burn down another building, aren't we?
And you're looking at what specifically? Not the helm, but the Vaggsang. You could push it by looking for the helm instead if you can't find anything on the Vaggsang.
Maybe I'll push it for looking for something on the Triskelion instead. The Triskelion, because
yeah.
Henry did say to me maybe you'd be best on the iconography. So maybe
That's true.
I look for something on the Vaggsang, can't find it, and immediately...
And it means, Henry, you get to keep the ring. That's still on.
So I'm going to push it by... The problem is the books I'm looking for are up on the higher shelves.
Yeah.
And the library's in use. Lady Marjorie is already... The ladder is already in use. The little... one of those little stools that wheels along, and when you stand on it, it goes close to the floor so it doesn't roll around. And I don't really want to bother her for it because I know what she's like. So I just stupidly climb on the bottom shelf to see if I can reach the top shelf because I can see the book I'm looking for.
Lovely. Love it.
And that is... Oh no! I thought it was a 73. That's a 13. I thought it was a 723, but it's a 13. So that is an extreme success on my library use.
Well played.
So let's see what happens. I'll go backwards in order, if that's all right. So you keep your foot, actually, and it is a bit precarious, but you manage to get up and sort of shift out at, a couple of tomes on. And it was that you'd shifted to the Triskelion, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you find you immediately find it. You've got a book on Celtic mythology. You've got a book on symbology throughout the ages, and you get the basic history. It's from the Greek, like three-legged, three times. It's it's ancient, but it's been used throughout many cultures, like from ancient to Saxon to medieval. It's something that is still used today. In like
Flag of the Isle of Man.
Well, exactly. In which case it is literally three legs. Neolithic symbology and things like that. It's obviously like linked to religion in general in the sense of the Trinity. That's like a recurring thing. You also know that you find a thing on, although this isn't a book on Saxon burial traditions of the North Yorkshire coast, you do find some references to the fact that in Ireland especially, but also along the east coast of England, some of the burial mounds, tumuli, dolmens and the equivalent would often be painted with these triskelions, and that immediately makes you think of the fact that he was claiming that this helm was buried inside a tumulus along the coast to sort of ward off, to protect the land from invasion. That was sort of the impression you'd got. So you start to think that actually, well, this symbol that you found on the necklace could well be a symbol of that same warding, that same protection, that same need to defend a certain area from invasion, whether literal or, figurative. I mean, I'll say, like, with your extreme success, without the specific books in hand, that's what you get as a direct link between those. Yeah.
If I, as Perregrine, were trying to get to the bottom of whether this symbol was primarily used as a symbol of power or a symbol of, spiritualism or a symbol of whatever, the idea of it being a ward is the overriding thing.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Definitely. A protection award. To protect the dead or to protect something hidden.
I love it.
And actually you get a memory of your safe that you've locked your journal of the stuff that's happened in, and the sort of three-pronged turner on it, the handle that you lock, and you start to think, wow, yeah, things really are, that symbology really has accidentally or otherwise remained, and that's the sense you get of locking something away and something being protected by that three-pronged thing. So as you're doing that and sort of piecing that together, Dr. Henry, how did you do in looking up Mr. Pugh?
I'm struggling to focus. I'm distracted. I keep looking up Pugh, and I keep finding interesting characters. So I get my pipe out and I get the books out in front of me, and I get a big pack of matches out and I shake them up a bit and I light 4 at once.
Love it.
And I really have a good look at this book in my hand. I lean right up to it.
Oh no.
So I rolled a 94 on my first, which was not quite a fumble.
No. Yeah.
And now I have hit the fumble with a 96.
Oh shit.
Oh no, I'm a 50. So it'd be 99.
But it is a failed push roll.
Okay.
Oh no, I haven't.
So it's not a fumble, but it is a fail on a push roll.
But it isn't a fumble.
Yeah. So what you have there. So thank God it's not a fumble. But what you have there is the sort of what would you call it? Not portmanteau, like the portfolio going back of like past students and their sort of records. It's quite a heavy tome, and as you,
it's one of the school books.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
Priceless.
Maybe have you sat down to have a look?
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Nice,
because it's quite dim lighting in the corner that you found it. Not often put in, and so you light this sort of fistful of matches for a few matches more.
Exactly.
You light, go for the pipe, and this book that has clearly not been touched in that long, the pages just ignite, and there's just this woof, as they start sort of singeing up, and it's almost like touch paper, like the first few just go up in an instant, and then the rest you can just see the sizzle, and however much you sort of bat at it to try and put it out, it's one page deeper and one page deeper, and you see the orange sort of glow going up and smoke sort of coming up from where you are, and you hear sort of Belinda's voice going, "Oh my God, what's happened over there?
You think this is bad? Look at that!" I say.
Yeah, well, exactly. and then she goes, "Oh, but wait," and so, lady.
Yeah, and I'm lighting a birthday cake just outside near the window.
Yeah, for sure.
It's completely against the rules. And I go a bit further down the street, but then I start singing "Happy Birthday."
Yeah,
and it's sort of mid-afternoon on a Friday, so it might disturb residents.
And it's for a 9-year-old's birthday, right?
Yeah. No, I'd probably fall out the window.
So.
Yeah.
Well, you fumbled, right?
Yeah.
On your looking for the Triskelion. So you're in a sort of consecutive part of the library. You found a book on symbology generally, because I mean, it's. I think you've heard from it sort of goes through history. You found that much, So you're not looking for a specific culture. You're just looking for this symbol and its history, and you're going through, and you do find it, and you find sort of what. The start of what Perregrine found. You don't really connect it to the tumuli or the warding or the burials or the helm or any of the stuff that he made the connection with, because what you see as soon as you see it is, do you remember when you pushed your roll out in Robin Hood's Bay? You were running towards the cliffs through the fog, and there was an extra scrap of paper in the journal. And you pushed your roll by running forwards towards the cliff as the others sort of shouted out. And what you succeeded. And what I'm not going to punish you for something I forgot to do back then.
Man,
you did succeed, but what you succeeded in is finding this extra scrap at the back of the book, which had a sort of a crude drawing of Da Vinci's, human man, the multi-limbed
Vitruvian
man, the Vitruvian man, and you suddenly have a really vivid flash of that realization and seeing that written in the journals, and like he'd scrawled something like, why is this perfect? Why perfection? Why does perfection become fractal? All this sort of mad rambling, and then you flash forwards to the image of Billy Crow, or what they said was Billy Crow, coming down on fire from the house upstairs with 3 arms, which is how he appeared to you. This sort of 3-armed figure aflame before his head was, evaporated by a shotgun blast. And you suddenly realised that, well, whatever that was, whatever he'd become, whatever this sort of muscular 3-armed sort of juddering figure that was exactly what had been haunting you throughout your entire stay there, whatever that was, that's what this is. This is something to do with that 3-armed figure. This is a thing of evil, this symbol. This is a thing that should be destroyed. And I think also because you didn't seek out any therapy or any of that, the vividness of that memory gives you a sanity roll. And you're also convinced in that moment that you need to get that necklace off them and get rid of it as soon as possible.
Have I got the necklace at the moment?
Oh yes, I believe so.
Oh yes, you do. So you need to destroy it.
Let's see how this sanity roll goes.
I've got a fire going over here.
Yeah, it might help.
Oh God, he's covered his face.
I've got 40 sanity, and I've rolled 2 cloacas of Azathoth, which is 100.
Oh,
fucking doodle-doo.
Double fumble.
Wow.
Top fumble.
Oh,
Double
man.
cloaca.
Fucking hell!
Fuck. I mean,
So that's whatever the max.
fuck me.
Yes, so whatever you think the max.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I wasn't, because it's a flashback, I wasn't going to give it too much in terms of the sanity, but I was going to say roll out of 4.
So I lose 4. Great start.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strong showing for us.
And is that about?
No, I don't.
Or not? Oh, no, it's not, because we reset all of that last one. Okay, good. Just double checking. But you do have this thing on you, and you do get the sense that it is a thing of evil. You're reminded of those images, and whatever it is must have driven Robert mad. That's why he was drawing the Vitruvian Man. And whatever it is must be real. That's why this figure seemed to have multiple limbs. Whatever it is, it must be a thing of evil.
I tell a lie. I didn't have 40. I had 30.
Oh.
Oh, fun.
10, 15, 20. So,
Oh, God.
So it's 6, and I've lost 4. So two away. 2 away
Today. As long as they're not today.
Oh, well,
today.
we're not even in Whitby yet. We might not get there. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I've already
You're not now.
sleep on the train.
Well, that's, I was going to say there's a sleeper train, but it's not going to do you any good.
Did you lose any sanity already? Oh, no, it was yesterday. We're a new morning, aren't we? Right?
Yeah. So not about madness, but I think what I do is I drop the book, obviously, and I'm panic. I'm
Obviously.
quiet panic, and my shaking hands go up to my neck and take the necklace off, and I look at it in my hands. I don't really want to touch it, so I fold it up in a kerchief, and I go looking for Dr. Carraig-Muire, and I'm completely oblivious to the fire and the smoke, and I find him in the corner there panicking with this thing, and I just very calmly say, Doctor, do you still have that cricket bat?
Well,
Yeah.
Stand back, Lady Marjorie.
I just didn't.
Yeah. As you do that, you're stood up, probably trying to put this thing out, and you see Belinda has sort of rushed off, and she's coming back in with, like, a porter who looks a bit older than the others, who seems a bit, miffed, and he's sort of marching down towards you as well.
I just need the cricket bat for a moment, if that's all right.
Lady Marjorie, now's not the time. There's a blaze.
No, I need to. Yes, I can.
I can't put it out. I don't know what
I take off my...
I'll use my jacket and I start flaming.
again.
I don't know where the bat is.
I need the cricket bat now.
Can't use my cane.
There they are. See, they're fanning the flames. They're trying to start a blaze. I knew they were asking strange questions.
No, I'm trying to put it... Use my stick, I say, and I gesture to my stick as I try and put this thing out as a flame licks up into my beard, and now I'm putting out the flame in my beard.
Gentlemen, please stop assaulting the books.
Excuse me.
Well, and you're well, I didn't think you were, madam. Well, please step away.
I'm assaulting this fetish of evil, and I throw the handkerchief down, and I take the stick, and I just start smashing.
Christ, what's going on?
It's evil.
I must ask you to stand back.
Whack.
The necklace.
Is it
Lady
a rat?
Marjorie.
Is it a rat? I say.
Lady Marjorie.
It's a 3-armed
Please, leave it.
bandit, or whatever they're called. It's an abomination.
3-armed bandit.
Smash.
I try and restrain her.
Well, in the meantime, this guy's sort of rushed off. He's not trying to sort of like grab any of you, but you see him coming back with a bucket of sand, and he's sort of
He pours on me.
which he pours over Lady Marjorie, puts it on her head like a little
I
bucket.
punch him.
No, he doesn't. He throws it on the book and sort of goes, "Now, please step away.
Peregrine goes,
I told you. And but do you try and restrain Marjorie from?
I am going to try and restrain Marjorie.
Okay, do you try and resist this? I mean, you've gotten a good couple of whacks in, I'd say, at least.
Maybe
before.
this is why we never do library use rolls.
Turns
I
out
think it might be.
we're really. I mean, like
I didn't see it coming.
two
you know,
really
who did?
bad fails. Shouldn't have pushed it. Really. Shouldn't have pushed it.
Abysmal.
Yeah. Do you want to roll? Is it a manoeuvre?
Well, it depends. Marjorie, are you sort of going to let him take you away, or are you?
I'm going to finish off this thing. I need to destroy it.
Yeah, so I guess it's a manoeuvre. Yeah.
Now then.
Perregrine, meanwhile, I don't know if you're trying to get involved.
I'm standing back, and I'm sort of...
Yeah.
You'll have a penalty die if you're going to resist me. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to swap these dice out. These are terrible.
Is this a dodge?
What, are you trying to just resist his...
Yeah, I'm just trying to carry on smashing. Maybe trying to...
I think it is.
For a manoeuvre, is it always brawl versus brawl?
Yeah, I don't think it's dodge, right?
Anyway, it's academic because I've failed quite staggeringly. I've rolled a 91. That's a 94, a 96, and a 91.
Wow. So I think it's because as you're sort of going to try and restrain Marjorie, who's still thwacking at this handkerchief with the necklace in it, the guy tips out the bucket of sand onto the book, which sort of tips off the edge, and this ash and sand comes up in a big cloud, and you try and step through it to grab her arm, but you sort of completely misjudge it.
Singed beard.
Grab the top of a chair instead in some sort of weird waltz, and then Perregrine's backing away, and the guy's coughing, and Belinda's going, I knew they were wrong. I knew it. I knew I couldn't trust them. They said they were my friends. She's not saying that. That would be weird. Yeah. So, Marjorie, you keep thwacking, and
Yes.
gradually the dust clears.
If Henry's unable to restrain her, I'm just going to risk it.
Okay, great. I think you see him stumble through this cloud, and his arms go round the wrong thing. And
Because I've just found out that this thing is like potentially a ward against whatever dangers we might be facing.
yeah.
So I don't know what it is. Would it be maybe a dex roll to try and...
What, to try and snatch it from under the stick? I think that's a dex roll.
Yeah, exactly. Although what I might try and do is sort of kick it with my foot.
Because what it isn't is like trying to stop her momentum or her movement. It's about removing the thing that, so I think I'll take that, yeah.
Exactly.
Although I guess unless Marjorie decides to try and hit your hand because she sees you going for it, in which case it would be an opposed.
I think I'm just going to carry on smashing at it, but if you fuck up and you get in the way, it probably is going to hit you instead, I'd have thought.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can argue for anything other than dex for this.
Sleight of hand?
I'm certainly not going to argue for that.
I didn't think you would.
Pretty much only a dex or a brawl, I'd say.
Well, if I listen to the rhythm of the...
Either of them.
Oh, I do love a really complex argument for a skill.
Hang on, have I got any music? Maybe I... Sure,
Did you see Stomp?
It might get you a bonus
Years ago.
die, I suppose, but by that time she might be finished with it.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's weird. Why don't I have music?
But also, that's assuming that Lady Marjorie is not going full loose limb jazz with the swings. You're assuming she's like banging out to musical beat. She might just be crazy.
Sometimes the momentum takes me back a couple of steps. I have to come back forwards again. Whack, whack, whoa!
Yeah, so it's irregular. It's irregular. It's like a Miles Davis song. You don't know where it's going to go until it does. And then you realise you did know all along, but...
My aim isn't great.
Let's see what happens with my dex roll before I decide what I'm going to do when I fail it.
That's the spirit. What's that?
I rolled a 99.
My God, what is wrong with this? This is literally the worst library trip of our life.
Fuck me, this is the worst library trip in the world.
I cave in Peregrine's skull.
That is obviously a fumble on my 30 dex. This is like Spilsbury. I mean, maybe is that full damage or just roll for damage?
Well, I'll tell you what happens is you go in, you sort of lunge for this thing, you try and time it, but you're desperate to sort of get it is the main thing. So you're thinking, I could listen to the beat, but it's too late. It might be the most important thing. The ward is what you just gained with your excellent success, your extreme success. So you just lunge into the fray and your legs slip in a bit of the ash and sand and you go full on flat on the floor instead, and it does come down not on your head but like on the back of your neck, and what's the it's like a cudgel, right? It's like
1d4 plus
what's the damage
bonus, or is it a d6?
I think plus damage bonus.
Oh, it's the equivalent of a blackjack. That.
Is that a d6 or a d8? I mean, is that maximum damage because I fumbled, or
fucking hell? I don't think it's maximum damage because I think the fumble is the fact that you get hit in the first place.
My walking stick is 1d6, but it's just a walking stick.
Yeah, whereas I think this is deliberately a weapon. If that's what it is, that's what it is. So if you don't mind rolling for damage, Marjorie.
You're almost certainly going to knock me out.
This could kill you, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be a major wound.
It might be. It really might be, right?
Well, it's a 4.
So, have I taken any damage
Fucking hell.
already? I think I have, haven't I?
That's still a lot.
I think you have.
I think, yeah.
I'm down to...
Dead.
Down to...
He's fucking
3
dead.
hit points.
Roll a new character.
But it's not a major wound, it's two individual...
Fuck me.
Joseph's gone. He's had enough. Lost
okay.
cause.
Wow, that hurt.
Yeah, you dive in, you slide in the ash and the sand, you go flat out and you just feel this thwack, this sort of sharp pain and then numb feeling in the back of your neck. It's like someone punching you with like a white hot nail between their fists. It's like an electric shock and you just sort of, you're just there. I think Marjorie, he's sort of scattered it out of the way now at least. He sort of slides through it all. So I imagine once you feel it
Perregrine!
thwack on the back of his neck, you're not going to carry on.
Perregrine, what are you doing, you madman?
Maybe I cry out in pain and then I'm just like... But tell me, for my pains, have I maybe landed on top of this thing?
Well, I think it's you've scattered it into the soot and the
Had it been
ash.
had it been thoroughly
in front of you, so it's not visible anymore.
I suppose I'm not aware whether it had been thoroughly smashed up or whether
Not sure yet.
I'm winded.
But I mean, you're winded in this moment at least. No one's sweeping it up yet. I mean, there's still time to have a look and see what the damage was. But I think right in this moment, Marjorie, you realise you've hit him and he's sort of convulsing slightly on the floor.
Oh, goodness. Porter!
Another bucket of
Bring
sand.
Brandy or something. Quickly, this man's been injured. Another bucket of sand.
Well, just don't light any more books on fire, all right?
We'll do our best. But I can't promise anything.
I'll watch them.
Can I see if would it take a spot hidden to see whether I can spot this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say you can like sift through the ash and the sand in
It's a
front
bit
of you
beyond me at the moment, given my condition.
and just see if you can find it. Yeah, I'd say I'll give you for nothing that you can see like a corner, like a couple of folds of the handkerchief in amongst that mixture.
Yeah.
So you know in the general area it would be, but it's probably been...
Well, in that case, maybe I just try and point towards it, hoping that Henry will see what I'm pointing at.
sort of winded and sort of...
But is she still in pursuit of it, right?
no, she's... Yeah.
No, I've stopped because I've realised I've
I
injured.
think she's wondering what on earth happened to me.
Oh, that snapped him out of it. Okay. In which case, I'll just I'm composing myself in the smoke and the dust, but in the sand. But I'm assuming I see that, I'll go and dash for it. You have to try and save the item as best we can, but I don't.
Well, the porter's sort of just disappeared to go and get a brandy, and Belinda's sort of there.
Well, that'll just make it worse.
Well, I mean, he was asked to be fair, but I mean, she's sort of there watching you with a sort of snide look on her face. But I think in this moment where Marjorie and Perregrine are sort of talking there, you can like go around and try and sift through, see if you can pull out the...
I'll see if I can get it.
Yeah. You pull out the handkerchief, and whatever was in there. It's like the handkerchief has obviously been shifted, so whatever was in it is now in that pile of sand and ash on the floor in front of you.
Oh, is that burning hot then?
Well, it's not burning hot. I think like the sand's extinguished most of the heat. It was only a thick book. It wasn't too extreme.
Thick,
but,
priceless record.
You'd have to sort of it was only a thick, priceless record. You'd have to probably sift through a bit of it to.
All right, well, I'll kneel down and I'll do that. Well, I'll squat down and I'll sift through.
Great, lovely.
A cliffhanger as I sift through the ash.
Yes. The warm ashes. Please, something solid still. Although I suppose you don't know quite how important it might be yet. Yeah.